Hello everyone, this is Linda. Welcome to Lenny P's Place. Well, today is I'm coming on to do an update for my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, Volume 4, which is Treasure Hunt. And this month's prompts were a monogram and treasured laces. So I have completed my treasured lace now. I started that last week, which was our second prompt. And so tomorrow we'll get our next prompt, which will be prompt number 3. And as you know, we get 2 prompts a month. So this being the first month of our new volume 4, the first was the monogram, which I have done, and then the second was the treasured lace. Now I'm going to come in so I can show you what I actually decided to do on this. I'm going to have to pull it up some. I have it pinned, but I have not attached anything down because I might want to move it around some. I'm not sure yet. Haven't quite made up my mind how I'm going to do this. Maybe I'll know more after our prompt tomorrow. I know right now this looks a little plain, but I'm thinking that I might come back and add a couple of little embellishments to it. It looks like, as of now, I'm going to be going with red, pink, and white, and a cream color, because that seems to be what I'm leaning towards and what I'm choosing to use. So anyway, I have picked out some of my favorite laces. All of these on here are antique laces, and I just kind of collaged them on, and then in the blank spaces I went back with some white perlé cotton thread and did seed stitching. So if I come in a little more, you might be able to see that. I don't know for sure. I can't really tell from looking at my monitor if you can actually see all the seed stitching that I did in the background. Now, I really feel like I need to put a little bit more red on here. The only thing I have on here is one of the little French laundry labels with my initials on it. But I feel like I need to add something, but I also think that we're going to get a prompt at some point for favorite fabric, in which case then I can, work around in here and add some color. So that's where I'm at right now. And I've added some filet lace, and then there's this pretty crocheted flower. This is a very pretty little lace. It looks, it's dingy and dirty because it's very old, but I love the little embroidered flowers. I used some of my favorite rickrack flowers in here because I'm getting very low on those, and at least now I'll have a memory of it. Then I cut out some little snippets of some tatting, different types of tatting, and put in little flower that I cut off something. I think it came off of a collar, but I'm not sure. And yeah, some other little favorite laces and the laundry label, and that's pretty much it. Now I do have something else to show you, because it seems as though this time around it's going to be easy to keep up. And like, I was looking for something to stitch because I got finished with this and I I just wanted something to work on at night. So I was watching Corrine, and can't remember the name of her channel. I watch her all the time. I will put it down below because she is wonderful. She is a wonderful stitcher, but she's also very good at laying out her pieces and designing how she wants her stuff to look, and she's wonderful. I love to watch her, and I watch her all the time, and she does several mini projects at one time. And even with the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, she is doing, I don't know, 3 or 4 right now. And so one of the ones she's doing is she has made a little dress for her childhood teddy bear. She calls Honey Bear. And she is adding prompts to the dress. Well, that made me think that I had my Mrs. Rabbit here. This is Miss Rabbit. Let me move out. She's too close. I can only go out so far. I'll go out as far as I can. Ignore anything you might see around here. My desk is kind of small. So anyway, this is Miss Rabbit. And my husband gave her to me about almost 40 years ago. So she's not a new lady. She's kind of old. She's not a little girl. And I never gave her a proper name. I just always called her Miss Rabbit. That was it. So what I decided to do was make a little apron for Miss Rabbit. So here's her apron. And on her apron, I'll come in a little bit so I can show you, and then I'll come back out because I want to tell you about her dress. Now the only thing I think I need to do is I need to do something with this lace. This is the treasured lace prompt. I put lace here and a little bit around her applique. I mean her monogram. And I just did Miss Rabbit. I just did Rabbit because that's just what I called her. I never called her anything else. So now I wish she had a name, but Miss Rabbit's her name. And then along the bottom of her little apron, I added some vintage lace, which is really the same that I put around the monogram here. And then I just did some straight stitch to attach it so that there would be a little red down here at the bottom of her apron. And I also did a running stitch here around her pocket. And then I created her little monogram and added some little greenery and some little, these are little leaves, I guess, and then some little French knots in yellow around in between, and then did her R for a rabbit. So yeah, so that is the start of her little apron. And so she's also going to be a part of this Volume 4 Stitchery project. And I want to just say thank you to Corrine for the idea to do this. I know there's more than just me doing it, but I think that probably everybody got the idea from Corrine because she is just so creative. Now I want to tell you about her little bloomers down below. I don't think I can get out far enough to show you those. I might have to sit her up a little bit. Her bloomers she already had. I can't sew. I made the apron and it's not very good, but I am no sewer, no seamstress, or whatever you want to call it. Not even in your wildest imagination could you call me one. So I left her little calico bloomers, or pants, whatever you want to call them. Petaloons, maybe? I don't know what you're going to call them. I left those on her because I didn't want her not to have any on. And so, but I did change her dress. This was the little dress that came on her when my husband bought her for me. And I could have just left this on her and put the apron on, but I really didn't think the colors matched with what I was working with. So I will just store this little dress away because it is a little vintage dress because she is an old lady now. And I'm going to take her apron off and show you what I decided to put on her. So here's her apron. It's a little lopsided. This side has more of an angle than this side, but I used a old vintage dotted Swiss fabric for her apron, and I just love the way it turned out, even if it's not exactly perfect. I don't do perfect. I don't know how. So anyway, the little dress that she's wearing is a baby dress that I bought. I bought several of them. It's been about a year ago. I went to a new store and I found all these baby dresses, little, I don't know, baby clothes. And they were very, very pretty, very old, and some of them older than others. This was not the original one that I wanted to put on her, but this is the one that fit her the best. So that's why she's wearing this one. And in the back are all the little buttons. It's handmade, and it could have used a few more buttons on the back, but they chose to stretch them way out like that. I guess because wiggling babies are hard to dress, and they didn't want to have to spend too much time buttoning up their dress, their clothes. So anyway, it has this beautiful little handmade smocking. It has a little bit of embroidery here, and this is I don't know what you call it. It's where you pull the threads. It's not cut work because it's not cut. The threads are they're just pulled away. So anyway, and then she has a little bit of lace up here. So that is her clothes. Now you might notice her ears, they come way down here. Well, I always thought her ears were too long. So she has what I want to call an ear do, where I pulled her ears up and I tied an old antique ribbon around her ears. And then just to keep them in place, I put two small little quilting pins. So that's her little ear do. Her little eye right here is, I'm going to put a little stitch there to put her eyeball back where it's supposed to be. I have to say that my granddaughter loves to use her as a dancing partner. And so she dances a lot with my granddaughter. And over the last 5 years, well, they started dancing about 2 years ago together. And so over the last 2 years, she has gotten a couple of little scrapes and bruises on her, thank you to my granddaughter. But that's okay because she loves Miss Rabbit, and I wouldn't dare tell her that she can't play with her. Although she is very special to me because my husband bought her for me. He came home one day, he had Mrs. Rabbit and a little bench that she sat on. And I can't remember, I think it was Mother's Day, and he gave it to me. And with the decor in my dining room at the time, because this was way back in the early 80s, I guess. And back in those days, country was, a country theme was very, very popular. So she fit right in with my little country theme that I had going on in my dining room. And so somewhere along the line, and I don't know where and I don't know when, but the bench is gone, but I still have Miss Rabbit. And so anyway, that's the story of Miss Rabbit. And so Miss Rabbit and I will say goodbye for now. And I will see you next week. We get our third prompt tomorrow, because that's going to be the first Wednesday of the month. And so I'm anxious to see what that's going to be. And then I'll have to get busy making two things. One for Miss Rabbit and one for my wall hanging. So I guess I will say goodbye for now, and Miss Bunny will say goodbye for now. And we will see you next week with an update on the progress for our next prompt. So everybody take care, be safe, be happy, be well, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.